Leicester City, the Foxes, won their first and only Premier League title in the 2015-16 season after only just coming up from the Championship the season before. Never in their history have Leicester City been able to win the Champions League. In the current season right now, before it was suspended, it looked like Leicester City would have another shot of Champions League glory in the season to come. But now with the Premier League looking to be abandoned, it looks like all of Leicester City's effort has gone to nothing. So today, as you boys probably have guessed, we are going to be rebuilding Leicester City and winning them their first ever Champions League title, hopefully with other many cups along the way. Okay, so at the start of the season, this is what Leicester's team is looking like. Obviously, there are a few aging players in here, like Jamie Vardy and Johnny Evans, even Kasper Schmeichel getting up to 32. There are going to have to be a few changes made because of age. Saying that, however, there are a few players that I will definitely be keeping, such as Pereira, Chilwell, Maddison, probably Barnes as well. But in this first season, there are a lot of transfers that need to be made just to make this squad in FIFA eligible to qualify for the Champions League. And with our very first signing of this transfer window, we have managed to sign Mikel Oyarzabal from Real Sociedad, blowing nearly almost all of our budget. £45 million, a 22-year-old winger comes over. He can play left and right. I reckon I'll play him left this season until Harvey Barnes grows to be more than Perez, and then we'll swap Oyarzabal to the right and have Harvey Barnes on the left. We have now sold Albrighton. He was 29 years old and he wasn't going to play at all with Oyarzabal, Harvey Barnes and Perez, so he's moved on to Arsenal for £8.2 million. We have also sold Christian Fuchs, the left-back, 33-year-old left-back, goes to Spurs for £1.35 million. Another player leaving the club is Daniel Amati. We squeezed all that we could out of Montpellier, but in the end we only got £4 million for the right-back. Danny Ward has now left the club. He moves to the Austrian Bundesliga for £6 million. And we have made our second signing of this transfer window. Dayu Upamecano, the French centre-back coming over from the Bundesliga for £18.5 million, bang on his value. And we have now sold Wes Morgan, the Jamaican centre-back who was Leicester's captain in the 2015-16 season when they won the Premier League. He is off to Hertha BSC for £1 million. Good luck, mate. And after many transfer talks breaking down, Matty James has finally agreed to leave. The Englishman centre midfielder joins Goatsep, don't know what league that is, for £830,000. Final hour of the transfer window now, two signings, 63.5 million spent. Oyarzabal and Upamecano coming into the club with Amati, Fuchs, Albrighton, Mendy, Ward and James. I think there might have been Morgan as well. They all left, so we've done some decent business, two quality signings in. I reckon we can get a Champions League spot this season, definitely. And this is what the Premier League table is looking like halfway through the season. We're sitting in fourth, which is good. Manchester United and Arsenal, 5th and 6th, they are only 1 point behind us, so we're not guaranteed it at all. Spurs, they're third, 1 place ahead of us and 7 points clear of us, so doesn't look like we can move up in the table, but fourth is a good position, and obviously if we get fourth, it's Champions League football. It's the losses, 6 losses, that's put us where we are. But Liverpool top, they are unbeaten at the moment with City in second. In the relegation zone, we have Norwich, Bournemouth and Southampton. Norwich on 7 points and Bournemouth only on 9, so their seasons really aren't going too well, are they? And I've actually just taken a look at our squad, and as you can see, Vardy's injured, Maddison's just come back from, I think, a 3-month injury, and Pratt's injured for another, 2 months. So, if we hadn't have had those players, if we had had those players when we played big games against City and Liverpool, I reckon we could have won. I reckon we could be ahead of Spurs now, maybe even in second, but we just gotten really unlucky with injuries this season. And I do have a bit of money in this transfer window. 11 mil. I might get a few backup players just so if stuff like Vardy and Maddison get injured again, it's not too big of a deal. But if I do make any signings, they're not going to be particularly big. But I'll see what I can do. And then here we are, the final hour of the January transfer window. No players in, no players out, no business done whatsoever. Raheem Sterling goes to Barcelona for 136.5 million though. That was the top deal, but very inactive transfer window. We just got to focus on the league now and try and stay in that 4th place while we can and get Champions League football for next season. And at the end of the season, this is how the Premier League turned out. Manchester City won the league by 1 point over Liverpool. They weren't able to go undefeated though. 101 points, Liverpool 100 points. Spurs in 3rd with 91. And then Leicester City ourselves, we finished in 4th. So it's us, Spurs, Liverpool and City all in the Champions League places. That was the most important thing. Arsenal in 5th and Manchester United in 6th. They get Europa League football. Down in the relegation zone, it is Norwich and Southampton and Crystal Palace. I can't remember who was in it at the start of the season. I don't think that's the original 3. I definitely know Norwich and Southampton were, but I can't remember if Crystal Palace. But anyway, those 3 all go down into the championships. Liverpool took down West Brom to win the FA Cup 3-0. And we were knocked out in round 6 by Spurs, drawing 2-2 in the game and then losing 4-3 on penalties. Manchester City bested Liverpool again in the Carabao Cup, beating them in the final 1-0. And we got knocked out in the semi-finals by the eventual winners of the Cup, Manchester City, after a 1-1 draw of a game. Manchester City beat us 3-2 on penalties. At the start of the season, Liverpool won the Super Cup against Chelsea, beating them 3-0. And then finally in the Europa League, it was actually Roma who beat Borussia Dortmund in the final, taking them down 2-1. Barcelona ended up winning the Champions League. They took down PSG in the final after a 1-1 game. They beat them 5-4 on penalty. We are now at the end of Season 1. Overall, a pretty good season. Oyarzabal, as you can see, 6th in the top goal scorers, scoring 19 overall. It was a pretty good season. We're in the Champions League, that's the most important thing. Hopefully able to build up our squad a bit more next season and see how far we can get in the Champions League. But let's move on to season number 2. And we have made a big signing, our first signing in season number 2. Memphis Depay coming over from Lyon. He's only 85 rated, but he will be replacing Jamie Vardy. We are not going to be selling Jamie Vardy. He's going to move on to a bench and Depay is going to come into striker role. And we have made our second signing of this transfer window. Alphonso Davies comes over from Bayern Munich. I did try and get him last January transfer window, but he was on loan at Montpellier, so I couldn't. So I got him this season. He's going to be a backup for now. If he takes over Ben Chilwell in rating, then he will obviously go into the squad. The Canadian comes over for £14 million. Diabate has left the club. He goes over to the French league and joins Assay for £4.2 million. I have decided to loan out Hamza Chowdhury. He is off for a 1-year loan to Manchester United. The centre defensive midfielder, he is 76 rated, so he's not going to get involved in the starting 11 as much as he would like. And putting him out on loan will just allow him to grow when we don't have to play him. So I just thought it would be a good idea. We have sold Josh Knight to a team I have honestly never heard of before making this transfer deal. He moves to whatever that team is for £1.1 million. Just getting rid of a few deadwood players here. Luke Thomas joining a club I've genuinely never heard of again. He leaves for £590,000. Daniel Iverson is the latest to leave the club. He joins FC Nordsjælland, which I have actually heard of. I'm not sure what league they're in, but I have heard of them. But he joins for £920,000. And we have sold Adrian Silva. The Portuguese midfielder joins West Ham for a fee of £6.7 million. Another new signing right here, Rodrigo, the right winger, coming over from Real Madrid in La Liga. He's going to be in the starting 11 straight away. He leaves Real Madrid for £30 million. We have now sold Kanya Lechabella. No idea. The South African Cam leaves Leicester City for a total of £530,000. And we are signing another player from Real Madrid, another Brazilian player as well, Eder Militao. Soyuncu wasn't growing as much as I wanted him to. He's still an 8 rated, only growing 1 rating from last season. So I've decided to sign Eder Militao. Soyuncu will drop onto the bench and he goes into the starting role. He signs from Real Madrid for £35 million. With Rodrigo coming into the club, Demarai Gray wasn't going to get a look in at Leicester anymore, so he has left for West Ham for £7.7 million. Iheanacho has also left the club. He leaves for Sampdoria in Serie A for £11.7 million. And on transfer deadline day, we sell Johnny Evans to Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Bundesliga. The centre-back leaves for £6.4 million. And we are now in the final hour of this transfer window. As you can see, £129 million spent. Depay, Davies, Rodrigo and Militao all coming into the club, with a lot of deadwood players leaving, including Johnny Evans and Demarai Gray. But all in all, I do think it was a successful transfer window. Obviously, we are in the Champions League this year, so I will see you when we found out who we got in our group stage. And in season number 2, this is what our Champions League group stage is looking like. It is a tough group, but I reckon we can get through. FC Barcelona, obviously, they're going to be the toughest to beat. They won it last year, beating PSG on penalties. Benfica, we should be able to beat easily, as well as Moscow. So, Moscow? Yeah, Moscow. CSK, Moscow. Yeah, Moscow. So I reckon a second place will do us nicely. Obviously, we want to go for first, but second is more realistic. But I'll see you when they're played. Okay, so this is how Group A, our group, is looking after all games have been played. We finished second in the group. I don't think the group standings have actually changed as when nobody played any games. Barcelona finished in first, as I expected, and we finished in second. Benfica and Moscow not getting through to the round of 16. We finished second, so we'll be finishing someone from another group who played first, which isn't ideal, but at least we got through. And this is how the Premier League table is looking halfway through season number 2. We are in 5th. It's a Europa League spot. Man United in 4th, just ahead. They are 7 points ahead, so they're going to have to slip it badly for us to gain on them or even overtake them. But saying that, Spurs are in 3rd. They're beating Manchester United on goal difference. They're also on 50 points. Manchester City in 2nd with 52, and Liverpool currently on top with 58. We've had 13 wins, 4 draws and 4 losses. I reckon it's the draws that have screwed us up, really. And Arsenal, who are 1 place behind us, we're only beating them on goal difference. And Chelsea, who are in 7th, 2 places behind us, we're only beating them by 1 point. So we could be playing Europa League football. In relegation zone, it's Brentford, Sheffield United and Watford. Brentford and Sheffield definitely look like they're going down. Watford might have a chance to stay up, but at the moment it's looking like we're going to be playing Europa League football next season. Obviously, we now are inside the January transfer window. I don't know. We have 25 million. I might try and sell a few deadwood players maybe, because we still got a few more of them after the last transfer window, but there's not really any big name players that we can sign with 25 mil, so we might not be able to do any business whatsoever, but I'll see what I can do with the funds that I have. Once again, no transfers made, no players in, no players out in this January transfer window for us anyway. We're not doing well in the league. We're not doing well in the league at all. I reckon if we don't win it this season, the Champions League, then we're going to be in the Europa League next season. I don't know how, but I also don't know how we're going to, from the position we're in, get into a Champions League spot. But let's put that out of our heads. What we've got to do now is focus on the Champions League, and let's see who we've got in the round of 16. And in the round of 16, we will be facing Real Madrid in the first leg. As you can see, we are away. That's not my preference, but facing Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, they're obviously a very big club in the Liga, a very big club in the world. I might have preferred I obviously would have preferred someone like Inter, Lazio, RB Leipzig, Valencia, Dortmund, because they're just an easier team, but it's a Champions League. Every game's going to be quite difficult. We just got to settle with what we got. So I'll see you in the first leg against Real Madrid. Here we are then, first leg against Real Madrid, full starting 11 apart from Upamecano. He's injured for 4 months, so pretty much the rest of the season we won't have Upamecano, so Soyuncu comes and fills his place. We are playing home in the first leg. I prefer away in the first leg. I don't know why, I just feel like it makes it a bit easier. I don't know how Real Madrid's team is going to look. They obviously do have good players like Gareth Bale. Let's see what the scoreline is. We're at home, we need to keep a clean sheet. It's 2-2. Oyarzabal misses a penalty. Jovic and Hazard get their goals. I wouldn't be worried if this was the away leg, but it's at home, and if they're managing to draw against us away, I reckon they could batter us at home. We'll see how we do in the second leg. Okay, then here we are, the second leg against Real Madrid. We are away in this leg. 2-2 was the score from the first leg. We did concede 2 away goals, so we at least need to score 2 away goals. If we don't score 2 away goals, then we're out. We need to see what the score is. Come on, boys, please. Oh, we get absolutely battered in the end. We lose 3-1, as I thought. They drove us away. They dismantled us at home. 5-3 on aggregate. We're out the Champions League. We need to focus on the Premier League now and try to get out of our Europa League spot. But it's not looking good. I just want to say I'm sorry. I have let everyone down. I have let the boys down, the family down, my country down. I am so sorry. At the end of the Premier League season, after finishing in 4th last season, we have somehow managed to finish 8th. Not Champions League, not even Europa League. 8th position. I would be very surprised if we get to keep the job. Manchester City, Liverpool, Manchester United and Spurs, they get Champions League positions, with Arsenal and Chelsea in the Europa League. Manchester City, Liverpool, Manchester United and Spurs all finishing in Champions League positions, with Arsenal and Chelsea getting Europa League. Down in the relegation zone, it is Brentford, Sheffield United and Watford that all go down to the Champions. The FA Cup is won by Arsenal, who take down Spurs in the final, beating them 2-1. We got knocked out in the semi-finals to the losers of the final. We lost to Spurs 5-4 on penalties after a 2-2 game. The Carabao Cup was won by Liverpool, beating Manchester City in the final 2-1. And just like the FA Cup, we got knocked out in round 3 by the losers again. We lost 5-4 on penalties to Manchester City after a 1-1 game. At the beginning of the season, Barcelona dismantled Roma in the Super Cup, beating them 4-0. And the Europa League turned out to be an all-English final. Manchester United defeated Arsenal 2-1. And it's Piemonte Calcio who win the Champions League. They beat Atletico Madrid in the final 1-0. And that is the end of season number 2. I don't know what to say. It's embarrassing. I don't think I've ever finished that low with the team that we have. No Champions League, no Europa League next season. I don't even know if we'll have the funds to improve the squad in the areas that it needs to be. All that's left now is to go into season number 3. I wonder if we will keep the job. I'm going to press A. And we have kept the job, thank God. Okay, let's forget about this season. Let's go straight into season number 3. George Hurst has now left the club. He moves to, I believe, the Turkish league and signs for Başakşehir. I don't know, the Englishman leaves for £1.55 million. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall now leaves the club. He joins a team I've never heard of, but the 22-year-old leaves for £610,000. Gazal is the latest to leave the club. He was going down in rating, went from 74 to a 73, so we needed to move him on, and he goes to La Liga for a sum of £3.85 million. Just getting rid of some more Deadwood players here. Mitchell Clark is the next to leave. He leaves for £500,000. Admiral Musqui has now left the club. He joins FC Sion for £670,000. And I think it's clear to me now that a lot of reason for our failure last season and actually finishing in 8th was our goalkeeper. Kasper Schmeichel was a good goalkeeper for the first season, but during the second season, he got older, he started to decrease. So what I've done is I've blown all of our budget and brought in Gianluigi Donnarumma from AC Milan. He's 89 rated, he's going to grow with the squad. He's going to be a great player for the present, now this season, and for the future, hopefully in the Champions League. And we've managed to bring him in for £90 million. And we are now on the final hour of this transfer window. As you can see, a lot of players out, mainly Deadwood players, but still only £7.18 million coming into the club, with £90 million coming out, spent only on one player, Donnarumma. Although we did blow all of our budget, and I mean all of our budget, on one player, Donnarumma, and the goalkeeper was an aspect that really needed upgrading. So overall, it was a very sensible purchase, I think. Donnarumma will grow with the rest of the team and improve as the seasons go on. Apart from that, as you know, finishing 8th last season, no Europa League, no Champions League, I will see you halfway through the season to see where we're sitting in the Premier League table. And this is a lot better, boys. Last season, halfway through, we were 5th or 6th. We were nowhere near the top of the table. And we were 10 or so points behind the person ahead. But this season, we are in second, 1 point behind Liverpool in first. Currently, we are undefeated in the season. Liverpool have one loss. I think they lost to us, so that was a big win for us, keeping us in the title race at the very beginning of the season. As I said, Liverpool and ourselves, Leicester City, are at the top of the table, with Manchester City, Manchester United just below, with Champions League spaces. And in the relegation zone so far is Cardiff City on 6 points, Brighton on 8 points, and Fulham on 11. Obviously, we are now in the transfer window. I'm going to see what we can do. We might have to sell some players, because I know a few players aren't happy with the amount of game time they're getting, but I'll see what I can do with the money that we've got, or the money that we're going to bring in. Now, a player that I really did not want to sell, Upamecano. He played every single game this season, but still said he wasn't happy with the game time that he was getting. It's a flaw in EA's system and it needs to be fixed. But he joins Arsenal for £85 million. Hopefully, we can bring someone else decent for that amount of money. And we have made a very, very big signing, improving our defence. Obviously, Upamecano left, and with the money that we had left over, as well as the £85 million coming into the club, we have managed to spend £90 million, the same as Donnarumma, on Matthias de Ligt, 4 ratings more than Upamecano, and a great signing for Leicester. And now the signing that could win us the Champions League next season. Rodrigo hasn't been progressing with the team as much as I wanted, so we have signed Kylian Mbappe on a free transfer, and next season he will be joining the club, and I'm going to be playing him as a right wing. We might sell Rodrigo, or we might put him onto the bench and sell Perez. I'm not too sure yet. Obviously, this is a very, very big signing, and free transfers, I know, can ruin the game, but when there's a player like that and you can get him for nothing, I paid 300 grand for him. That's it. When that's available, you've got to take it. But obviously, I don't want to ruin the game by having the whole team free transfers. Because of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to restrict myself to, I reckon, 3 free transfers for every rebuild. So this is number 1. I don't know if I'll be making 2 more. Obviously, last rebuild, my Manchester United rebuild, I didn't use any whatsoever. I did try, but a few weren't working. So as you've seen in the Manchester United rebuild, it is possible without using any free transfers whatsoever. But Kylian Mbappe, when he's a free transfer, you just got to go for it. But anyway, Kylian Mbappe, 300 grand, we're going to have him next season, and I reckon we can have a really good go next season at winning the Champions League. And we are now in the final hour of this January transfer window. As you can see, £85.75 million out. Upamecano and Johnson. I did forget to show you Johnson, but he left for £750,000, so it wasn't a big one anyway. 90 million in, De Ligt in now, and obviously Mbappe coming at the start of next season. Overall, I think it's a pretty good transfer window, with De Ligt strengthening up our defence even with the loss of Upamecano. Obviously, same as last time, no Europa League, no Champions League. I'll see you at the end of the season, and hopefully we've got a Champions League spot. And as you can see, we did manage to hold our position out from halfway through the season. We finished in second place with Liverpool, just finishing above us. 3 points there was in between us. We weren't able to go undefeated. Liverpool, I do believe, took us down 2-1, I think the score was. But the scores and the wins and the draws and losses don't matter anymore because we did qualify for Champions League football. And as you can see, Liverpool, ourselves, Leicester City, Manchester City and surprisingly Arsenal all qualified for the Champions League, with Chelsea and Manchester United getting Europa League football next season. In the relegation zone, it was Cardiff, Fulham and West Brom who all go down to the Championships. The Emirates FA Cup was won by Liverpool, who beat Manchester City in the final 2-1. Ourselves got knocked out in round 3, losing 1-0 to Manchester United. The Carabao Cup was also won by Liverpool, who've done the domestic treble this year. They beat Chelsea 4-3 on penalties after a 1-1 game. And we lost in round 3, similarly to the FA Cup, but this time we lost to Brentford 4-3 on penalties after a 1-1 game. That was awful. And it's Piemonte Calcio, or Juventus in real life, who win the UEFA Super Cup. They dismantled Manchester United 4-1. The Europa League was won by Napoli, who beat Arsenal 3-1 in the final. And Liverpool cannot do the quadruple. Manchester City it is who win the Champions League. They beat Paris in the final 2-0. Kasper Schmeichel is joining Chelsea when the transfer window opens. Obviously, because Donnarumma was brought into the club, he was our second choice goalkeeper, so he wasn't getting any game time whatsoever, and he wanted to leave the club. He was bringing down our manager rating, so I've sold him on to Chelsea. We do actually have 3 players retiring this season. Andy King, Slimani, and Jamie Vardy are all retiring this season. Jamie Vardy, I'm particularly saddened to lose. Slimani and King, I don't think they've ever played a game for us, so I'm not really bothered that they're leaving. But Jamie Vardy, obviously in the first 1 and 2 seasons, he did play for us regularly, especially in the first season, apart from his injury. In the third season, obviously we brought in Depay, he wasn't needed as much, and he just wasn't getting played. But at the end of season 3, at a 78 overall, it's a very good rating to have when you're 35 years old. He has decided to retire. Thank you for your services, Jamie Vardy. We're going to miss you. So season 3, much improved upon than season 2. Finished in second position, qualified for the Champions League. Almost won it. There was only 3 points between us and Liverpool. With that being said, there isn't much more to go over. We've gone through the players retiring, where everybody finished in the season. Let's get into season number 4. I reckon we can probably win the Premier League, and with Kylian Mbappe coming into the side, we can either win or go very far in the Champions League. Bringing in backups at this stage of the rebuild is crucial because most of your starting 11 is 85, 86 plus. And if one of them gets injured and you don't have any good backup players, then you could have gone from an 86, maybe even a 90 rated to a 78 or something. So Dodi Lukebakio, backup striker, comes in from Hertha BSC for a total of £25 million. And now a controversial transfer has been made. We have actually sold Memphis Depay. The striker we brought in season 2 has only gone up 2 ratings from 85 to 87 in the 2 seasons that we've had him. And this going into the 3rd season, I don't think he's going to grow any further. So we've decided to sell him on to Borussia Dortmund for £85 million. And hopefully with the money that we get, we can bring in a new striker. So Memphis Depay leaves for Germany, going to Borussia Dortmund for £85 million. And a big signing here, replacing Memphis Depay, we have brought in João Felix for £66.9 million. The Portuguese centre-forward comes over from Atletico Madrid in the La Liga for under his value. £6.9 million is what we paid for him. As you will see now, £77.5 million was his value. He had a release clause on him, and we would have had to pay 110 or so mil. And to bring it down by that much because of a release clause is insane. So I had to go for him. He's a class striker, 89 rated. He's going to grow even more to 93 or so. So a great signing, I think. Bringing in another backup player here, we have signed Zach Steffen, the American goalkeeper, coming over for £14.5 million. Here we are, final hour of the first transfer window of season number 4. More active than I thought it would be. One player out in Memphis Depay for £85 million, and we spent £106.4 million with Lukebakio Felix and Stefan all coming into the club. A good transfer window, some backup players bought that were needed, and then Felix obviously coming into the main striker role. We are in the Champions League this season, thank God. So I will see you once we figure out who we've got in the group stage. And this is what our Champions League group is looking like for season number 4. We have been placed in Group F along with PSG, Paris, Schalke and Lokomotiv Moscow. Obviously, PSG are the team to beat. I wouldn't be surprised if they come first and we come second, but we should get through. If we don't get through, I'm going to be very disappointed. And even though PSG are a very good side, I reckon we can go for that top spot. So we'll see how we've done in 3, 2, 1. And after all the games were played in the group stages, we did finish on top. I knew we could. We eventually went undefeated. PSG, they lost twice. I'm assuming that's to us. I mean, we beat them once, as you can see. We drew to Lokomotiv Moscow. Wow. We drew to the team that got... Lokomotiv Moscow got 1 point in the group stages, and they got it off us, the team who finished first. It doesn't matter though. We go through on top. That means we're playing someone in second place. Easier opponent, hopefully. I'll see you halfway through the season to see how we're doing in the Premier League. Halfway through the season, and this is how we are looking in the Premier League. Top of the table. Let's go, boys. 21 games played, 20 wins and 1 draw. Currently, we are undefeated, and I would like to keep it that way until the end of the season. Ourselves, Man City, Liverpool and Spurs so far are in Champions League positions, with Manchester United and Arsenal settling for Europa League at the moment. In the relegation zone, we have Crystal Palace, Southampton and Sheffield United, who look like they'll be going down to the Championships. Definitely Crystal Palace and Southampton. Sheffield United might have a chance. Obviously, we are in the transfer window, but at the moment I don't think any transfers need to be made whatsoever unless someone leaves. I don't think any business will be happening in this transfer window. And I didn't want this to happen. Soyuncu, after 4 seasons, has decided to leave the club. He was 85 rated, he was well rated, but Militao at 86 and De Ligt at 89, he just wasn't getting a look in at all. He was unhappy with his game time, he wanted to leave, so we've been forced to sell him to Piemonte Calcio or Juventus for £53.6 million. Even with Soyuncu departing the club, I don't think we need to make another transfer. I don't think we need to bring another backup player in because we have Benkovic, who is at an 80 rated right now, and he knows that he's not good enough to be getting regular game time because Soyuncu thought he was, being 85, only 1 rating less than Militao. Benkovic is 6 ratings less than Militao and 9 less than De Ligt, so I reckon without any people sold again, still, I don't think there's any need to bring anybody into the club. We are now at the end of this transfer window. It does say we didn't sell any players, but we did. Soyuncu. I don't know why it hasn't come up. It's a bit weird. As I thought, no players in, only Soyuncu out. Very, very inactive window. The most inactive that we've had throughout this whole rebuild. But I don't think it was needed. Our squad is Champions League worthy at the moment. We've got enough backup players, and there was just no need to waste any money on transfers that we were never going to need. As you guys know, we finished first in our Champions League group, so we are through to the round of 16, and I will see you once we know who we have. And in the round of 16, we have been faced up against Atletico Madrid. Obviously, that they are a tough side. At the start of the career mode, they wouldn't have been a problem, but Atletico Madrid side, further on in career modes, are very good. Thank God we bought Joao Felix off of them, because if they had Joao Felix, I think there was no way of us getting through. Obviously, as always, I would have preferred Inter, Olympique Lyon, or Ajax, or an easier team, but you're not going to find a real easy team in this stage of the Champions League, so we'll settle for Atletico Madrid now, and I will see you in the first leg. Okay, round of 16 time, first leg away against Atletico Madrid. I prefer it away. Obviously, Atletico Madrid's team, we know, well, we think are going to be good. Let's just hope we can get a few goals. Okay, it's 1-1. They scored in the 88th minute, but we only scored in the 83rd. Timo Werner injured, that probably helped us a bit. 1-1, I'll take that. If we got 1 away goal, which is good. And if we're able to draw with them away, I reckon we can definitely beat them at home. Let's see how we do in the second leg. Okay then, second leg of the round of 16 at home against Atletico Madrid. Last time in leg 1, I didn't realise, some of you may have, but we ended up playing a mix of our second team and our first team. I've made sure now, a few of them are a bit tired, but I've made sure that we have I haven't actually. That was close. Rodrigo out for Oyarzabal. Right, I've made sure that we have our first team out there. It's 1-1. If we could draw with them with a worse team away, surely we can beat them at home. It's a 2-1 win. We win 3-2 on aggregate. We're through to the quarterfinals. Thank God for that. And in the quarterfinals, we have been matched up against Real Madrid. Real Madrid in season number 2 knocked us out in the round of 16. So this time we're hoping to repay them the favour and knock them out of the quarterfinals. Right, first leg against Real Madrid. We are at home in this first leg. Strongest side, no injuries, no suspensions. Real Madrid are obviously a very good side. Let's see how we do at home. Come on, keep a clean sheet. 0-0. I don't know if I will take that, because if we can't beat them at home, I don't know if we're going to be able to beat them away. But they didn't score a goal, so they don't have any away goals. Oh, please don't knock us out again, please. Right, leg 2 against Real Madrid. We are away this leg. 0-0 in the first leg. They don't have any away goals, which is good, but I don't know. If we can't beat them at home, I don't have much faith that we can beat them away. What's the score? It's 2-0! Get in there! 2 away goals. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as we won this game, we were going through to the semi-finals, and we did. Through to the semi-finals, knocked out Real Madrid, the team that knocked us out in season 2. Not going to do it again. Well played, boys. Great win. And in the semi-finals of the Champions League, we've been faced up against Liverpool. Currently in the Premier League, they are 1 point behind us in second. We are in first. So I just hope we can get through to the finals this year. Even if we don't, even if we get knocked out this round, it does look like we can get Champions League football. So it's not that bad, but it's just nice to get through to the final at least and have a chance to win it. I'll see you in leg number 1. Okay, first leg here against Liverpool. We are away, which is good. We just need to get some goals, get some away goals to give us a chance here. We've beaten them in the league. Can we beat them in the Champions League? It's 1-1. Okay, I'll take that. It's away. It's the same as Real Madrid, but this time we actually played with our strongest team. It's 1-1 draw. We got our away goal. That's good enough. We just need to hope we can hold out in the home leg and keep a clean sheet. I'll see you then. Second leg now against Liverpool. We are at home this leg. A 1-1 draw in the first leg. We got our away goal. I don't know how this is going to go. We're at home, so we have a better chance of winning. Come on, boys. Please. Strongest side. 4-0! 4-0! Militao, 2 from Tielemans and 1 from Oyarzabal. I wasn't expecting that. At all. And we're through to the Champions League final. Yes, get in there. And in this year's Champions League final, 2023 Champions League final, it will be Leicester City up against FC Barcelona. Come on, boys. We can win it. We can definitely win it with the team we've got. We definitely stand a chance against Barcelona. In the Premier League, we won it. Leicester City, 106 points, undefeated. The new Invincibles played 38, won 34, and ended up drawing 4. Liverpool in second with 102. Manchester City in third with 94, and Manchester United in fourth with 91. The 4 I just said, all in Champions League positions, with Spurs and Arsenal just below them getting Europa League. In the relegation zone, it is Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, and Southampton, all going down to the Championships. I'm fairly sure those were all the people who were in the relegation zone halfway through the season, so nothing's changed there. At the start of the season, Liverpool beat ourselves, Leicester City, and won the Community Shield 4-3 on penalties after a 1-1 game. The Emirates FA Cup was won by Manchester City, who took down Arsenal in the final 2-1. And we were knocked out in the semi-finals by the losers of the final. Arsenal beat us 1-0. The Carabao Cup was won by Liverpool. They took down Manchester United in the final, beating them 3-0. And we were knocked out in round 4 by West Brom, losing to them 2-1. At the start of the season, Manchester City took down Napoli 3-1 in the UEFA Cup. And it's Bayer Leverkusen who win the Europa League. They took down Milan in the final, beating them 4-3 on penalties after a 1-1 game. But now, boys, it's time. Champions League final, Leicester City against Barcelona. Let's see if we can finish the rebuild and get Leicester City their first ever Champions League trophy. Let's go, boys. Come on then, Champions League final, Leicester against FC Barcelona. Come on, boys. Oyarzabal on it. Plays it inside to Maddison, gives it back to Oyarzabal. Big touch, well done, takes it past one. Early on in the game, what can he do with it? Going to try and pass it across. Oh, that's a good tackle. Stegen gets it away and it's out for a throw-in, not a corner. Good start by Leicester City here. Oyarzabal to take the throw-in. Gives it to Tielemans, back to Davies. Plays it inside to Ndidi, turn, give it. Mbappe, shoot, blocked. Joao Felix! Oh my god, within the first, not even 10 minutes has passed in this game, and we are already 1-0 up. Joao Felix with a great goal. Got a bit lucky because Mbappe's shot gets deflected, it falls straight to Felix. But what a start to the game. Barcelona in possession, Tammy Abraham. Bit of lag, takes it past and shoots! Good save by Donnarumma. Maddison on it. Joao Felix is making the run. That's a great ball over to Maddison. By Maddison. Joao Felix cut in. Play it to Mbappe. Touch. Oh, it's too big for touch. And FC Barcelona get it away. Joao Felix on the ball. Plays it to Maddison. What can he do with it? Felix is making the run. Hits it on the volley. Oh dear. That was awful. De Jong on the ball. Plays a good ball down the line to Sterling. Pereira. Just jockey. Don't let him get past you. Sterling making his way into the box. Plays it. Blocked by Tielemans, saved, shot. What's going on? They've scored, but they haven't. He hasn't just given a penalty. Don't tell me he's just given a penalty. What has he given a penalty for? There was nothing. I don't know what happened. What did he give it for? Oh, he's run into him. That's stupid. Tammy Abraham to take the penalty. We're going to go to the right, and he goes the other way. Barcelona have equalised 1-1. That's such a stupid goal. Stupid. Maddison on it. Plays a good ball over the top to Oyarzabal. What can he do with it? He's going to try and take it past him. He does it. Gives to Ndidi. Back to Oyard. No to Mbappe. Shoot! Oh, what a strike! What a strike by Kylian Mbappe. I told you when we bought him that he was going to help us win the Champions League, and he's just put us ahead after mere minutes of Barcelona scoring their equaliser. And Kylian Mbappe does that. It was just meant to go to Oyarzabal here, but it doesn't matter. We've scored. Pereira on it up the pitch. Plays out wide to Mbappe. Yeah, you've beaten them there. There's no way they're catching up to you. Maddison's making a run back post. Cross it. Get there. Defender just gets there and Stegen collects it. Joao Felix plays out wide. That's a good ball. Mbappe run. It's Alexandro. You've beaten him. Well done. Coming into the box, Felix. Play it across. Oh, and it's an air swing. On the stroke of half time here, Maddison's going to whip the ball in onto Militao's head. Can he get to it? No. Mbappe's going to retrieve at edge of the box. What can he do? And Didi's on the edge. Touch and shoot. Too big of a touch, but it doesn't matter. That's going to be half time. a good half all in all. We're winning. Stupid goal that we conceded, but it doesn't matter. Tielemans on the ball. It's a good ball into Felix. What can you do with it? He's going to cut back in. Plays it back to Tielemans. De Jong. Shoot Felix. Oh, and he's... What a strike. What a strike by Felix on his weaker foot. Why didn't he do that when we had the volley? Some more luck for us there. It was meant to go to Tielemans, blocked by De Jong, and go straight back to Joao Felix. And with that goal, we are 3-1 up. Just here, De Jong gets it straight back to him. And what a strike by Joao Felix. Joao Felix on the ball. What can he do with it? He sees Ndidi's run. Get your head on that. No, he's left it. And it somehow goes out for a corner. Second corner of the match here. Maddison to put the ball in again. What can he do with it? Finds Militao. Blocked. Mbappe, get that. Ter Stegen dropped it. What's that? I've made our first substitution here. Oyar's ball's played well, but giving Harvey Barnes a run out. Harvey Barnes substitute on it. Oh, it's well played. Felix gives it back to him. What can he do with it here? Plays a good ball into Maddison. Get there. Defender just gets there. Harvey Barnes win it back. He does. Tielemans inside. Maddison going back. Sees Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes back to Maddison. Shoot. Finesse. Saved by Ter Stegen. Another corner here for Leicester. Maddison put the ball in again. Eder Militao, get your head onto it. He does. Just goes over the bar. This is good play by Barcelona. Sterling on it. Gives it back to Elena. What can he do with it? He's going to take a pass. Shoot. Easy for Donnarumma. Harvey Barnes on it out wide. What can he do with it? Going to cut in. Plays it. Tielemans. Shoot. Blocked. Harvey Barnes wins it back to Felix. And he's done it in the Champions League final. Joao Felix has scored a hat-trick. And with the scoreline at 4-1, we are 3 goals ahead. There's like 15 minutes left. I cannot see Barcelona getting back into this one. We got lucky again with the deflection. Harvey Barnes wins it back. And what a strike by Joao Felix. Barcelona on it. De Jong plays it to Elena. Back to De Jong. Running down the line. Gives it to Griezmann. Couple of step over. Shoots. Just goes wide of the post. That was quite lucky. I have made a substitution. Joao Felix got his hat-trick, so Luca Bacchio's going to come on for him. Tielemans, what can he do with it? Plays it inside to Maddison. Oh, sees Luca Bacchio. He's just come on. What can he do with it? Bit lag. Shoot. Saved. Header. And he's hit the post. He's hit the bar. How has he done that? Fair enough with the lag, but you should definitely be scoring the rebound. Oh my God. Not long left now. Barcelona in possession. That's a good ball over the top to Sterling. He's got all the time in the world. What can he do with it? Cuts in. Plays it. Oh, good save by Donnarumma. Barcelona with a corner. Doesn't matter what they do from here. We've won. Back post. Easy for Donnarumma. Surely that's it. With less than a minute on the clock, we might have time for one more attack. Harvey Barnes sees Mbappe. What a ball to Mbappe. What can you do without wide? Big touch. Keeps it in. Running inside. Plays it to Luca Bacchio. Sees Tielemans. Oh, that's awful. Gives it back. Awful again. But it does not matter. In season number 4, Leicester City take down Barcelona 4-1 in the Champions League final to win them their first ever Champions League trophy. It's been an honour, Leicester City. I love this team. Such a great team. But obviously, it was a bit harder than last season. If you did enjoy this, make sure to leave a like. If you're new around here, definitely subscribe. I'll shut up now. We can watch the celebrations, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.